Woodsboro Lady Eagles will be taking on the Beeville Jones Lady Trojans. We've got some volleyball action here on a Friday evening, and Coach Lisa Lancaster, her first volleyball game in some time and first time on the air. Welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's my first game since November, since I was in season myself. So it's definitely different to be out here and see what these kids have been up to all summer, especially with COVID going on. See what they've been working on all summer and see how things have been coming together.
So we have a couple of small schools here. We have Beeville Jones here, the visiting team in the orange uniforms. They are the road team, taking on the host team, the Woodsboro Lady Eagles. They are in the white uniforms on the far side, getting set. We are just about ready for some volleyball. Maggie Martinez gets this one underway, and we are good to go from Woodsboro. Ball set up. First point goes to Beeville. So Martinez, again listed as the libero, hits this one over the net, out of the back.
Surprisingly, Woodsboro does not have their libero in right now. I don't know if she forgot to sub in or if they're just waiting for a certain rotation. But they do have one.
Beeville trying to get this one back on the other side. That was Aubrey Johnson. Swing and ball just gets over the net. Count it, Alexis James for Woodsboro. Two-one score here in the first set. Woodsboro getting that one over the net, trying to get it back over, and they're unable to. Another point. It's 3-1 Woodsboro.
Trojans really have to keep their spacing here. The libero's getting a little bit crowded by their left back. Communication's going to be a factor. They've got to communicate.
Bring it closer. There you go. 4-1's the score. Beeville Jones on the offensive attack, just getting that one over the net. Swinging it to the right side. My right, their left.
Defense is a little bit crowded here on the Trojan side. They really need to go outside in. If not, that deep corner shot will work eventually for Woodsboro.
Carly Knapp, Aubrey Johnson, Michaela Newson, Maggie Martinez, and Alexis Salazar, the starters for the Lady Trojans. Woodsboro takes the 5-2 lead early. Now some substitutions. Carly Knapp checks out.
That's tight. There it is, sweep.
Count it for Woodsboro. They're off to a good start. They have a 6-2 lead. So a timeout on the court. We'll take a timeout up here. You're watching Rio Sports Live.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is.
Welcome back to Woodsboro High School. Kevin Naro alongside Coach Lisa Lancaster, Lady Eagles with the 6-2 lead early in the first set. Swinging it over to the left.
Get there, get there. Ooh. Both teams really need to communicate. They're in really good positions to continue the ball back and forth and rallies, but there's just too many people on the ball at certain times. They really need to talk.
Michaela Newson getting ready to serve this. Ty Hernandez comes into the game. She's up in the front row. To her right is Jalen Smith. A couple of substitutions in the game for Woodsboro. Six-4 lead for the Lady Eagles, trying to get the kill. Back comes Newson on the other side.
Touch. Should have been a touch. No double check. No call from the line judge in that one. I swore I had seen a touch on the block.
Aaron Nelson on the flip side.
Good serve.
Gets that one over the net on the serve. Strong serve there. Back on the other end. Trying to set up the offense here. Looking for the kill was Rodriguez. Tips that one over.
Ooh.
7-5 to score here in the opening set. Kayla Salazar comes into the game. She's on the front row on the left side to our left.
Good serve.
Strong serve there from the Lady Trojans, trying to get it back over the way.
Man. Good hustle play on the second touch. It's a little bit too much on the way over.
Alexia Salazar serves this one.
Nice serve.
Just got over the net. Ties things up at 7.
Good consistent serve to the 6.
Just like that, Beeville Jones has an 8-7 lead. Seems as if they kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start, but they're kind of finding their footing here. That serve over the top. Back comes Woodsboro on the other end. Newson over
Good spot. That should have been in.
to Jalen Smith, and count it. Be sure to follow us on social media at Real Sports Live on Instagram and Twitter, and give us a follow on Facebook. Football and volleyball is back up in the Coastal Bend area. It was a good sight to see some football last night. Mark and I were we were at Three Rivers and Runge last night. We got to see some football for the first time.
She sold that one. That ball would be a lot more aggressive. She went one hand, but two hands got the job done.
10-8 is the score. Megan Delboski got that serve over. Trying to set up the offense and getting it over the net was Knapp. Back comes Woodboro, swinging it over, and just missed that one was Haley Allen, and it's an 11-8 Woodsboro lead.
That line shot she was going for was open, but she just needs to be a little bit more patient on her approach, stay behind the ball a little more.
Delboski with the serve. That one unable to get over the net was Christina Tully, the sophomore libero. And here comes the volleyball. So, Coach, this is your first game since November, you'd mentioned, and you're seeing the sports world in the middle of COVID-19, what are some things that stand out to you that you're seeing in this gym from a coaching perspective that's different?
Well, a little bit, mostly of it, especially during warm-up, was the communication. The kids, I'm not sure how, when their start date was. I'm not sure if they were able to start on August 3rd like a lot of school districts were or not. But a lot of it is communication. So I'm not sure if they're limiting number of athletes in the gym, or distance, or the breathing in the masks is something that might be affecting them. But they don't seem to be as talkative as some games that I've gone to, even in practices or in games myself. That we really stress communication, because if you don't talk, I mean, whether you're there or not, the person next to you is not going to know, and that really will take a damper on the game itself. So both teams are struggling a little bit with communication here. They are getting warmed up a little bit more, so it's still very early in the game. So eventually, that'll be one of the things that I want both teams to do a little bit more, just to communicate. It's going to make their job a lot easier by just helping out and talking to each other.
Now, this is a regular season game, but because of the situation we're in with the pandemic, and these kids not being able to spend so much time together through the off season, and you mentioned the communication, is that all stemming from the fact that these kids haven't been able to work out as they normally would during the off season?
It could be because a lot of teams, a lot of seasons will start their season, with spring ball, or if there's club going on, or summer leagues. Those things all usually happen on a yearly basis. So I know a lot of the clubs back home got canceled. Maybe practice teams weren't able to hold practice what they would have in late April, May, all the way through July. So usually by then, some teams already have their varsity teams together. They've been practicing since athletic period in the spring semester through summer. And usually even by early on Donna tournaments, things like that, they're ready to go. They're already in district mode. So that might be a little bit by the reason, but it's just no telling.
We got a back and forth one here in the first set. Beeville Jones, the road team, leading 14-13. Here on a Friday evening, and it's very different. The lone fact that we're playing volleyball on a Friday evening.
Oh no. It's a good effort.
Jalen Smith coming into the game. Carly Knapp here to serve for the Lady Trojans. Gets it up with the right hand, and that one's going to be out of the back.
Good contact, just a little bit strong. She does have a really heavy hand. We saw her warm up during the pregame here earlier. She does have a heavy hand, so.
Alexis James, the senior, serving that one up for Woodsboro, getting it back over the middle.
Ooh, get there. Good rundown.
We're all knotted up at 15. James again on the other end, set to serve. 15 all in a back and forth we go here in the first set.
Oh, she's got a swing at that. Just because you get blocked doesn't mean you're going to get blocked again. You got to take a good swing, especially if that ball's there. Here you go.
Beeville Jones and Woodsboro going at it here, 15 all. And a good play made by Jalen Smith. Now Michaela Newson will set to serve this. Her team up by 1 with the left hand. Back comes Woodsboro.
Angle. Get there, she's there. Oh. If the ball's being pushed out that far past the antenna, she's really only going to have that one angle, which is the right front. So immediately knowing that everybody should be shifting over. If not, her other choice is hitting the antenna or behind the antenna.
It's about as even matched as we could imagine. And again, both teams in the same boat with limited workouts throughout the offseason and really just thrown in into the mix into the regular season.
It's a nice serve there.
Kenzie Scott, the sophomore, she's listed as a setter and an outside hitter. Gets that one over. Smith with a strong move and count it. (18-17) and waiting for one of these teams to go on a little run and pull away. But so far, they're just answering each other's punches here. 18-17, 1 point lead for the Trojans.
It's a good push to one.
(19-17) is the score. The visitors with the lead. We're going to take a timeout. You're watching Rio Sports Live.
Academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit. Stay for a...
Welcome back to Rio Sports Live. It is a... Let's see, weird.
Oh, wow.
Scoreboard's lagging just a bit, but it's a 19-19 score here in the first set.
Line judge did call that one out, but R1 does have the initial call over. So even though she did see something different, I know the coach is arguing that right now. So even though the line judge here did call that ball in, the R1, he has the ability to overrule that call.
Aubrey Johnson going to be serving this one. Back comes Woodsboro, swinging it, finding a soft spot in the defense was Carly Knapp.
Ball's a little low on the outside push. It caused her to drop her elbow. The higher the elbow, the better, especially on that long swing. It's a good pass there.
21-18 is the score. They had to adjust the score up on the scoreboard. Now it's 21-19.
That pass needs to be in front of the 10. It's going to force the setter to come out of the setter box. Of course, now the middle or outside, whoever's going to get the third ball. The ball is coming from behind them. So it's really, really difficult to get a good, decent swing out of that ball, as you just saw from that middle hitter now.
21-19, Beeville Jones with the lead, and a big spot here in the opening set.
Push. Woo, that's a good push right there. Good run through. There she is leading the, ooh. There's a good lead right there, a good swing. Line is open.
22-19 now the score. Now one thing that I did notice that was different Tuesday when we were at Corpus Christi Miller was the teams did not switch sides.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
that was part of the I don't want to say district plan, but mostly UIL for sanitizing reasons.
Right.
Even though they're touching the chair, they're getting up, they're wiping on towels, things like that. They put them back on the seat. So it's just another precaution, especially during these times that they're taking. Same thing, you don't get the usual shaking of hands before the game starts.
Right.
They wave. So they're still doing the sportsmanship, still doing things they need to do as far as the sports, but they're just doing a little bit safer, which of course is appreciated right now.
Right, and then the post game, we'll see something similar. Was where they'll just all stand in the line and wave good game.
Yeah.
Beeville Jones, and again, pulling away here late. What we were waiting for to see which team was going to go on that last little run. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout up here. 24-19 is the score. You're watching Real Sports Live.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
Come and enjoy 2 full days of Texas Fest on March 13 and 14 at the San Benito Fairgrounds. Experience the Battle of the Alamo. See the fabulous Grammy winner, Eddie La Reina Yam.
Welcome back to Rio Sports Live. 24-19 game points for the Lady Trojans.
Use that ball, game point. Oh no!
Carly Knapp wanted that one. She stepped up her game here late in this first set. 24-20 is the score.
That's a good pass there. Let's use that one.
There it is. Carly Knapp puts a bow on it. 25-20, the final in the first set goes to Beeville Jones. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching Rio Sports Live.
Jaime de Anda, plus Los Garcia Brothers, Sereno, H3, Grupo Ácido, huge car show, market days, and join the IBCA State Championship Cook-Off. Take in native Indian, folklorico, and Aztec dancers, Reyes dancing horses, and rock climbing wall and games. Don't miss Texas Fest in San Benito.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Hi fans, today's game is brought to you by New York Life. Best of luck to your team.
And I'm Danielle Goslin, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For over 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation of developing the most successful professionals in the industry.
We help to manage the process from day one and guide you on your way to success. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business,
then we would like to show you how we can help.
When in Port Mansfield,
My little hand.
Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught bait, including live shrimp and croaker. Frozen baits caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel. drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the Blue Building and the Blue Shrimp Boats, Laguna Madre Baits. 828 Westport Drive, Port Mansfield, Texas.
Well, because you're usually doing football,
Well,
right?
welcome back to Real Sports Live. Kevin Naro alongside my good friend and former coach of the Lyford Lady Bulldogs, Lisa Lancaster. A couple of Edinburgh peeps on here on the air. The Coach Lancaster again spent a couple years in Progresso and a couple years at Lyford, and has a coaching career there in the Valley. And before that, did a little bit of college volleyball and is an Edinburgh High alum. I won't hold that against her, but yeah, I went to Edinburgh North. She went to Edinburgh High, and she graduated 1 year ahead of me. For our sake, I guess we won't say the year, but I mean, I'm okay with it. But she graduated a year ahead of me.
I'm fine with it.
She's 2009. I'm 2010.
Don't do the math, though. We'll just keep it at graduating years.
Right. we'll give you that much. But, you know, as we got to know each other more, we kind of just found out that we knew the same people, being that we're from the same town. And it's just being a small circle. But see, me, when I was in high school, I never went to the basketball games, volleyball games. I was just doing baseball, and that was it.
And I never went to baseball games.
Well, then that's why we never crossed paths when we were in high school. But to talk to us a little bit about your college career and, you know, what that recruiting process was like. And, you know, while you were coaching in Lyford, you know, you had Hannah Bettis go to the college level. So just the differences of recruiting from then till now.
Well, when I was leaving high school, when I was graduating, you know, it's way different than it is now. You know, a lot of the schools, even smaller schools, bigger schools, NAI, JUCOs, they really actually look to the Valley now. Beforehand, when I was in high school, there was very, very few people that went to play collegiately. Even then, they went and played maybe a year, 2 years max, maybe at JUCOs, and then they came back to the Valley. They came back to Pan Am or, you know, now UTRGV. But back then, you know, I made my skills tape. I went out there on berecruited.com. I did the whole NCAA clearinghouse and all that. But even then, I had a few schools looking, mostly schools that were offering walk-on positions, redshirt positions, because those big schools, they're done. They're done recruiting. Everything's already set, ready to go for their season. They're done during fall. So mostly the kids that are looking during the spring semester, they're the kids that kind of get the last bits. You know, is usually what it is. So in my case, the schools that I was looking at weren't contacting me back. So I said, you know what? There's a few tryouts. I tried out at Tyler Junior College. I tried out at I had a verbal, I guess you want to say, opportunity at Sul Ross State for volleyball and basketball, which, you know, I was only contemplating volleyball, and the volleyball coach, you know, offered me a position for basketball as well, which I wasn't looking at because I only played JV up to my sophomore year, and then I focused more on volleyball. But I went to a tryout. You know, Texas A&M, International, Laredo, TAMU, the Dust Devils, they had a tryout opportunity. And I said, you know what, you know, if I make it, great. If I don't, it's, you know, it's just a learning process, something to you know, get my feet wet. If I don't get it, and it's okay, you know, as long as I went out there and put myself out there. But no, yeah, it was nerve-wracking because when we went to a tryout, it was myself and another friend of mine, Jackie Matula, from Corpus. She and I were the only two freshmen that were there. And everybody else were JUCO kids, second-year kids looking to transfer from Laredo Community College. And so it was nerve-wracking. I mean, how are you going to have an incoming freshman, two incoming freshmen, you know, beat out kids that are, you know, already have 2 years of college experience, you know? So that was a little bit nerve-wracking and kind of put us on edge. But we're two of the people that actually made it. So it was a really interesting thing. Jackie and I were both there for 4 years. I took a small break during my second year. Because of some, I don't want to say issues, but I guess coaching issues. So when we got a new coach my junior year, I talked to him and said, hey, would you give me an opportunity? I was here for the last year and a half or so, and he let me try out. So then I continued my last years there at TAMU. So it's a learning experience, being there at TAMU for those years, being under 3 different head coaches. But now, because we have a lot of experience in the Valley, having athletes go to Huston-Tillotson, going to UTSA, going to really anywhere. Even their small schools. A lot of programs are looking to the Valley now, mostly for softball, which is great. It gets them to actually look at schools down here, knowing that we have athletes and programs that we have. But it's just a different ball game now. I mean, they're getting a little bit more light shine down on the Valley, and now they're really taking a good look, and I'm happy they are, because a lot of programs, whether they're sub 5A or 6A schools, we're getting kids to play at the next level. So that's a big step in a 10-year window from when I graduated high school to now. It's a lot of growth, which is really great for our kids.
Definitely, and in this second set, we've seen Beeville Jones come out to a strong start, 8-2 the lead. Alexis James, the senior, with the serve. Off the top tip of the fingers was Ali Estrada. That one goes back and out of bounds and counted for Woodsboro. 8-3's the score. Kevin Naro, Lisa Lancaster here. Coming to you live from Woodsboro, Texas on a Friday evening. We got some volleyball here for you on Rio Sports Live. Second volleyball game of the week. The crew and I were at Corpus Christi Miller earlier this week as they took on Odom. Last night was just a breath of fresh air, being able to see some football. We had a tri-scrimmage with Odom, Corpus Christi London, and Refugio. In that game, Coach, we had about 23,000 viewers when I woke up this morning. So that was pretty incredible. You talk about people wanting football back.
It doesn't matter who's playing at that point. They just want to see some football, right?
Right, they got it. And, the numbers were just ridiculously insane. And we expected those types of numbers when you mentioned the team Refugio when it comes to high school football. Now Woodsboro going on a little bit of a run. They lead 8-6. We're going to take a timeout. We'll hold that thought. You're watching Rio Sports Live. Beeville Jones leads by 2.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality.
Welcome back to Rio Sports Live. 8-6, Beeville Jones with the lead. Woodsboro on a little bit of a run here in the second set. The Lady Trojans won the first set 25-20. In case you're just tuning in, this is the second set of the evening. And some volleyball on a Friday night. And again, that's just a little strange, talking volleyball on a Friday night.
Oh, somebody. Oh, no. Oh, man. Like I said, communication's really going to be the difference here. And I've noticed the Trojans are playing really far up also. They got a good 5-6 feet behind them.
Getting it back over to the other side. And swinging
Go,
it.
go, go, go. Got Trojans in the net on that play.
Kenzie Scott there was able to get that one just above the net, and it's from what was an 8-2 game and looked like it was getting out of hand early. Woodsboro has tightened things down just a bit after that timeout. Now it's tied 8-8. There's the communication you alluded to.
And the coach did make an adjustment on serve receive, or 5 setter, which is subbing out now. She was pushed back in the 1 position. So is it a little bit difficult for her to release and be there on time? So they did push up, and that was a little bit of confusion about who's in front, who's where. So that's going to cause some confusion here.
And there it is, just like you called it. Jennifer Rodriguez, number 6, just checked into the ballgame for Beeville. And now the wheels are turning just a little bit for the Lady Trojans. They had the big lead early. Woodsboro now on the attack, and here's the serve.
They got a lineup check here. 6 made the sub, but she's supposed to be behind 9 because she was pushed back behind right back. So she's supposed to be back here because our sub, number 5, she was the setter who is behind right back. So when she subbed, she got pushed back in the wrong position here. So it does get kind of confusing, especially when there's certain players pushed up, pushed back, who's going to be in where, who's going to be where else. So they're going to make the correction here. 6 needs to be behind 9.
There it is.
And then here this number, believe is 1, needs to make the drop. So depending on who's going to be pushed up or not, there's the slide. So 9 needs to be in front of 6 for this to be a correct serve receive.
Alexia Salazar making that adjustment. She wears the number 9, sets that one up for her offense, gets it back to the other end. Here comes Woodsboro. Unable to get that ball over was Haley Allen, the sophomore. And a much needed point there from Beeville Jones. Now you're having some more substitutions. Lexi McWilliams, or rather, excuse me, that's Maggie Martinez right here in front of us for the Trojans. The setter gets that over. 10-9 lead for the home squad, Lady Eagles.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe they're out of rotation just then because 5 came back in the game and she moved to the left, which she should still have been on the right-hand side of the libero. So let's see if they catch that in this next one. Unless I'm just seeing a lot of orange.
Right, a little bit of both. We were talking about some football, and again, we had Three Rivers and Runge last night.
One more in the back row. Uh-oh.
Newsom sets that one up.
Good spot there.
For Smith. Back comes Woodsboro. Was Rodriguez. Now Newsom up.
Swing.
There it is.
Yeah, it's really getting confusing on Trojan side here. They're not sure who their 3 in the back row are.
Checking out the instant replay there. Back to the action. 12-9's the
push.
Score.
Good corner. There we go. Oh, wow. There we go. Go to hustle play. See if they can keep the rally in motion here. Oh, no. Double.
How about that hustle play? I know you like that.
I mean, you can't be upset whether it's, they keep it in play or not. For a kid to make a sacrifice to the floor and to make that effort, I mean, you can't teach that. You can encourage it, but it's a hard thing to teach. Take a swing. Ooh!
Ali Estrella almost got that one in for the Lady Trojans. Back and forth we go. Newsom setting it up.
Taking. The approach was not there. Let's see if they can get it on this one here. Good
Smith
corner.
Gets
there
that
it is.
Over. Jalen Smith able to put Beeville Jones on the board. They trail by 3.
The energy level is picking up, but it seems to get a little bit frazzled at times because you want to keep playing to that energy level, but you can't get sloppy. You got to stay consistent in what you're doing.
13-10, Woodsboro with the lead.
Back row swing.
You talk about basketball. I know the cliche with basketball, it's true, it's a game of runs, but how much of a game of runs is volleyball?
I mean, as soon as you get momentum and you break away in a little bit of a run, that could potentially be a factor. I mean, if just like anything else, when you're scoring in basketball, every time you make it down the floor and you're scoring on offense, eventually defense, that energy transfers to your defense. So, I mean, same thing here in volleyball. This libero here that's at service, I mean, your momentum is on, your fire is up, and she's going to continue to seek a rhythm, to seek a pace. And it just, I misread that one. I think the setter was trying to release a little bit earlier. But, I mean, just like that, momentum's lost, and the game gets a little bit quieter, if you notice. You know, just like that, momentum shifts, momentum switches. So it's really up to Woodsboro right now to take the momentum on their side and do something with it. Now that Trojans have calmed down a little bit, and they lost that rally.
Katrina Lopez, the junior, the setter on that play.
Oh, no. It's already been a few times that they miscommunicated. Setter has a second ball. That is part of her job responsibility. Everybody else should be getting out of the way and being prepared to take a swing. Everybody else becomes a hitter.
Knapp was trying to sneak that one over. I have 15, there we go. I had 14-12. I hadn't seen the scoreboard change, but there we go. It's a 15-12.
Good serve there.
Woodsboro lead. Here comes Knapp with the right hand, gets the kill. Couple more substitutions. Avery Johnson, who came into the game as a starter, she'll serve this one up here. 15-13. Her team trails by 2 on the road.
Good spot there. Miscommunication on the middle back and left back. Uh-oh.
Good save there.
Fish it out. There we go. Good hustle. Way to stick with it. Oh, no. Like I mentioned, you have those little energetic plays, those little, you just can't get frazzled. You have to keep calm. You have to remain calm. The energy level can still be there, but when you go and make that touch, it needs to be calm, cool, collected, and you're focusing on one touch at a time. It's the way it's got to be. Good swing. There's a block. Is number 10 for the kill from the Trojans, Kayla Salazar.
Need some space there with the.
No,
there we go.
Okay.
Trying to get coach here situated with the cords. There we go. 15 all.
It's a little long. Push, push, push. Good hustle place here by the Lady Trojans. Little low. There it is. Double. Those hands are a little low by the setter, number 3. She has to have her hands above forehead. Other than that, it becomes a carry or a double, depending on the way she makes her contact. Here's the pushback that we had earlier. So number 3 is your setter coming out of the right back. She's got to release fast enough. Oh, in. Like I mentioned earlier, Trojans are playing really far up on their serve receive. So typically you want to be a little bit further back because it's easier to move forward than to move backwards. There's another deep ball. Gave her problems. Send it over, reset.
Avery Johnson gets that one over.
Free ball.
Alexia Salazar coming into the game, and Ali Estrada getting ready to serve.
Good serve.
17-16 the score.
Somebody, come on, come on, come on. Good effort, good effort. Eagles up 2 here. A little bit more rhythm on their side. Let's see if they can keep it.
Estrada sets that one up.
Touch.
Back comes Estrella over to Johnson.
A little bit tight. Oh, man.
Henson just missed that one. Looked as if her timing was off just by a bit. 3-point lead for Woodsboro.
Watch out, Kevin.
Tell you what, that one came flying in. If I wasn't paying attention, it would have hit me right directly in the face.
I would have saved you, but 6 feet away. So
6 feet apart, yes,
6 feet.
exactly.
My arms aren't that long, sorry. You got to save yourself.
A 2020 special right there. 19-17, Woodsboro with the lead.
Oh,
Estrada got that one over, and she set that up perfectly for her offense. And they now trail by 1, and right now this game's in limbo if you're Beeville Jones wanting to come back and finish what they started, because they were off to an 8-2 lead early, and then Woodsboro kind of took the reins there and adjusted on the fly after their coach called a timeout.
good swing.
Good move by Jalen Smith there.
I believe that was 2. Or was it a block? I think they counted that as a block.
That looked like a block from Jalen Smith, number 11. And a big play there. Now here comes a big serve from Carly Knapp.
Free ball reset.
Big play here.
Swing
Here comes
line. Oh, that line is open.
Knapp over to Johnson. Into the hands of Smith.
Swing at it. Here we go. Good deep corner. Still in play. Oh. Coach is a little bit frustrated here from Woodsboro.
So it's a 20-19. Beeville Jones with the lead. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll finish that thought on the other end of the break. You're watching Real Sports Live.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business provider.
Welcome back to Real Sports Live. Coach Lancaster here giving me a one-on-one on volleyball. What happened on that last sequence there, Coach, that you were describing to me on the break?
So what happened? I mentioned that the Woodsboro coach showed a little bit of frustration there at the end of that rally. So typically, what happens on a serve receive ball is a ball can usually only be called a carry. So below the forehead ball on a first touch. So in this case, off the swing, right back on Trojan's side was a little bit low. It looked more like a double. The ref missed a call on that one. And I'll talk about this example just here in a second because that's the same thing I was talking about. So ref missed the call on this side, and then Trojans sent it over. Same ball, same tempo, same location, and a double was called. So a little bit of frustration when, it's not as even as it should be as far as calls. But, I mean, refs aren't keeping control over, or I let them get one, let me get the next one, or I'll give them the next one next time. They're not keeping track of that. They call it as they see it, and, that's why there's officials during these games, because overall they are in charge of officiating. Their opinion is what matters. So it's everything's a judgment call. And I officiated myself for 7 years through Parks and Rec and things like that, and club ball. I officiated myself. So I've been on the other end of it. I've gotten my share of licks and battles from other coaches, and I've given them myself as coaches. But it's because, if you understand the situation, that's fine. You may voice to the official what you saw and what happened, but like I said, their judgment is gold. What they call and what they see goes.
25-19, the final. We're going to take a quick break as we head to the third set. The Lady Trojans look for the sweep here on Real Sports Live.
Athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Real Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit. Stay for a lifetime.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
Come and enjoy 2 full days of Texas Fest on March 13 and 14 at the San Benito Fairgrounds. Experience the Battle of the Alamo. See the fabulous Grammy winner Eddie the Reina Yavante and legendary Jaime de Anda, plus Los Garcia Brothers, Sereno, H3, Grupo Ácido, huge car show, market days, and join the IBCA State Championship Cook-Off. Take in native Indian, folklorico, and Aztec dancers, Reyes dancing horses, and rock climbing wall and games. Don't miss Texas Fest in San Benito.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Check, check, 1, 2. Okay, there we go. All right. After the timeout, it's an 8-4 Beeville Jones lead. We're good to go. All right, thank you. Yeah, when I'm thinking I have to switch the batteries. Something went off the mark, but nonetheless, we got the audio fixed. We're back. We're ready to roll. 8-4 is the lead here in the third set from Woodsboro High School, the Lady Trojans.
That looked clean to me. Might have been a little low is what he saw. Shout out to Coach Zamora for helping us out, walking us through that missing audio.
Right, yeah. Sometimes we get caught up in the mix, and sometimes it takes one of our buddies back home that's watching to say, hey, fix your audio, or someone would comment on there. And so
get it together.
Right, get it together, you two.
That means you guys missed my big woo when we got a kill over here from number 1 on the Lady Trojan side, Ali Estrada. Maybe it was a good thing the volume wasn't on. I might have been a little bit too loud for our viewers.
No, it was good. It was good. I just wish we would have had the audio on. You'll get another shot at it.
There's another shot for her there. Good, consistent standing swing. Long, high reach, and nice snap.
Ali Estrada serving this one up. And that one's going to be well out of play, and a good, strong serve from Ali Estrada. It's a 10-6. Bevo Jones lead, and there's another difference that we've seen here. It's a constant. They wipe down the volleyballs. They sanitize them. You kind of wonder, why wasn't that done before, maybe? Or was it just something we never thought of naturally?
Well, you know, I've gone to, loads of high school games, but the only program that I've seen do it is NCAA. They're with UTPA.
Okay.
I don't recall UTRGV doing it. Maybe I don't go to many of their games. But when I was attending pretty much all their games, basketball, volleyball, whatever it was, they always had a spare 2 or 3 volleyballs, and they would rotate the volleyballs on the sideline. So once one was served, they'd roll a ball back down, and the helpers there on the side, the ball boy, ball girl, will have a towel, wipe it down real quick, and then they would hand that ball to the server. So during the rally, when the rally was over, that ball was kicked off to the side. They weren't given that same ball to serve. They would always wipe it, clean it, make sure it's nice, good to go. There's no dirt on it. There's no whatever. So they were always given a new clean ball.
And that's not a knock to what any of us have been doing as far as we've been involved in the game. It's just something that we would have, if there was no pandemic, we would not be switching the volleyballs out.
Definitely not.
We obviously wouldn't be wearing masks.
And the girls on the bench are 1 seat in between each athlete. The chairs are also spaced out.
Right, that's a good point that I didn't realize. And one thing that I did see in the NBA was that even though their benches are 6 feet apart and there's a big plexiglass.
Yeah. Lady Trojans here finding their rhythm. Everyone's doing their part. Good, consistent 3 touches on every rally. It's got to really be helping their morale right now. And it's showing in their points. They're pulling away with quite a bit of a lead.
It's a 14-8 lead for Beeville Jones. And
goodness,
just a little miscommunication there. Carly Knapp, it looked as if she wanted to come up and set up her offense.
It's also going back to the defense.